Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing, Season 25, Race 3. And we find ourselves at the fantastic Interlagos, just outside Sao Paulo. Such a old school traditional track, fan favourite, spectator favourite. We got a show in store for you. We were witnessed some fantastic driving last week at Baku. The Academy's train. There must have been a train for 9 cars for as I recall, just for ages. Amadi putting a stamper down with his first race of the season, dominated. It was helped by a bit of hard racing from Adam and Portuguese, and he managed to just get that break and go. And no, now we're on to race 3, and absolutely fantastic track. 4.3 kilometers long, 15 corners, 10 to left, 5 to the right. And as we come to the final 2 corners of the track, we'll do our ever popular, fantastic hot lap. And this week we're going to be jumping on the Williams driver's Cygate. And we're coming down to the start-finish line as we hit the turns 1 and 2, the centre essays. As we go on the outside, you're braking downhill here, so it's quite tricky that you don't look up as you go onto turn 3, Curva del Sol, a large round-shaped left turn where there's plenty of overtaking. Open up that DRS down the Vita Acosta as you end sector 1. On the outside, you want to turn in as quick as possible and to see the Largo. So downhill braking again, and then we start climbing uphill as we hit at the back of the pit buildings. Now turn 6 and 7, a Ferradura. And there might be some late braking here as we hit Little Orange. Technical, or a little bit wavy there from Cygate, but it's a technical sector now, sector 2. As we now hit Bica de Pato, or they could nickname the Duckbill. Ooh, bit hard on the traction as we coming down to the sector 2. And turn in on junction. You want to get the best exit possible here on the outside of the corner. And it's foot down, flat out. As you turn round, open up that DRS, you want to hug on the inside and left to get the shortest lap time possible. And the first lap we're going to get is a 109.5, which I'm pretty sure by the chat that maybe Beaton's Looper does eclipse that. We'll go with the first run of Mercedes driver this season. He's just on his hot lap now. So we'll see 1 or 2 times by it, and you can see Adamaco with a 108.2. Amadi eclipsing that with a 182. Ooh, look how close that is for the first run. As Chaos 2 comes in as a 108.4, so 2 tenths behind this front 2. It shows how tight it's going to be at the top. It is a short track, and so times will be tight, as we'll see Big Mike come over the line and comes at provisional P6 to the 111 as Big Racky with a 108.1. Where did that come from? He's kept that quiet as M. Supper jumps above his Williams teammate up to provisional P6 or 108.9. Big Racky on provisional pole, the 108.1. I'm pretty sure we're going to see 1 or 2 jump into the 107s, as we'll see how Wild Pluto does on his first run. And comes in provisional P8 and with 110.7. Next we'll jump on Danny. Had a bit of a issue last week, and he's back with us, jumping up to provisional P7. Second kick driver with a 109.1. As Chaos is going round again, he's doing a second hot lap on these softs. So it'll be interesting to see what lap time he can do. He's actually invalidated early on, so I think he'll be diving in the pits now as we see Wayne doing his first running lap. It's a reasonably old GP, this one. The first one we had was in 1973, which was won by Emerson Fittipaldi. And it's been a staple on the calendar since then. As Looper now dives in his first one to jump in the 107 to the 107.8. Fantastic lap from him, and these laps are just flying. As Giza does a proper one and comes in the 108.3. So you can see how tight this is, and it's hard to call who's going to get pole here. Now, what's different about this one is that well, Brazil and this track is known for temperamental weather, with the location and being in the hills. The weather's known to be unpredictable as Wayne crosses the line and goes up just above his teammate, up to provisional P5 with a 108.2. So we'll see how he's invalidated again. He's obviously got quite a bit of fuel in his tank. We'll see how Supper is invalidated as well, so he's probably going to look at doing another lap as we'll check in with the McLarens. So we've got a couple of new drivers with us this week. Baramino Enterado join us from Mexico, so he's a nice early afternoon hours for him. Joining Dan as a teammate, as he's lost Will. He decided to step down into a reserve role as Dan jumps up to P8. As we'll jump on with our current league leader, Adam Acko, who's going to look to try and improve on his current time. He's only in lead by 8 points though, so it's all to play for, and we are still within early in the season, as he's just under a tenth up on his time, which would take him up to P2. Can he improve in this middle sector where it's important that you get these lap times and these braking points, these traction. Getting your throttle down at the correct moment as he's coming around the end of sector 2. Sorry, my dog has been out of pain last week. As he's 2.5 tenths up, which will get him into the 107s. Can he push a little bit harder and get himself just above Looper? Looper, the lone RB for this week. Portuguese is not very well, and he gets P2. So doesn't quite get the 108. So lost a bit of time in that last sector. As Ahmed D comes behind and just jumps into pole with a 107.7. So showing that there is still plenty of time to find. While Pluto, I don't think he's on a hot lap at the moment. I think it's Danny. We'll keep an eye on him. Oh, and he's gone off. He's gone off on the centre S's. Lost his back end and went off on turn 1. And he's going to have to go around again or pit. Hopefully he hasn't got any damage. It looks like he's lost his end plate. That won't help his charge. We'll keep an eye on Big Racky then. He showed some real early pace. And we'll see how he is doing at the end of sector 1. So slightly up in his time again, half a tenth. Which should keep him where he is at the moment, but there's still 2 sectors of the lap to go. So what I was saying, is that the weather's quite temperamental, but we've actually got this one set to dry, and it's for a very good reason. It's the first of our special races for season 25, and what the drivers have to do today is they have to use one of each compound, dry compound that is. So that means that each driver will have at least 2 pit stops. And it will mean that there'll be plenty of different strategies on call. And he's gone slightly up against just under a tenth. Still not quite close enough to jump up to P3. We'll see where he's going to find with this last. We've got the final pace. And just improved, but not enough to move him up, as we'll say when Looper is down on his time. Let's see, the Haas driver is down on his time as well. Supper. I've just had my supper. And he's invalidated as well. Such a tricky one to keep all 4 wheels on the track when you're pushing the limits. See, as he's just coming round the duck bill, turn 10. And see what his end of sector 2 time is. The car's getting out the way. You love to see. And he's up. Just over 1.5 tenths. That could get him up to P11 currently. Does he get any further higher up the grid? And he just got to P11. So, solid lap there from Danny. As we'll double check with Big Racky, he's gone straight into the pit. So we've got a second McLaren. It's Dan Morris. So we'll have a look at Dan. We've got just under 7 minutes left, so still another run to go. If it was me, knowing that that we've got to use the softs in the race, I'd probably save a set of softs, do a run of mediums first and then do some soft runs after, as Dan is just over a tenth up, which is looking at potentially P7 at the moment. His teammate goes flying out of the way. Woo, that was close. That's just coming around turn 9 of the Pinarino. You know, a track is all traditional, no old school. As Chaos jumps up to P5, found a bit more time, keeping all 4 wheels on the track, and just showing the pace that he's got, just behind the league leader. As Dan Morris stays P8, so did not find any extra time there. As we'll double check with the other McLaren. So yeah, we've got a couple of new drivers with us this week. So we've got Chaos 2, who's joined the Haas team with Katamise. Unfortunately, we don't have Katamise this week. He's away on business. He's actually gone outside for a little bit. Saramena is just over 1.5 tenths up, which is at the moment keeping P10, but we'll see if he's got an extra time. We've got his friend Supper, who's joined Sygate Williams. We lost Thelemy at the start of the season, who's gone down to reserve, so good to have him on board. And then our current, we've got a current on-screen Barimo, who's, like I said, is taking Will's place with the McLaren team. He's coming to the end of sector 2 now, and he's 4 tenths up. So that's some good extra pace, which looks like he'll get him up to P9. What can he do in this final stretch, final sector? He's got a bit of slipstream, which will help him. And he goes up to... and goes up to P6 from plenty of time in that last sector. A fantastic lap from Barimo. And then we've also got the Wild Pluto in the Mercedes. Good to see the Mercedes out on track again. Had a few drivers missing, but we do have Pluto in one seat, and then J23, who hopefully will be back with us next week. He only got the game today, so he should be back with us, so it'll be good to see him. And then we have Adamako's teammate, Big Mike, who's he's here to race. He knows he's not here necessarily to win, but it'd be interesting to see his pace. Currently with the 111 flat, but I'm sure he can find a little bit more time. Well, jump Ahmed D has invalidated his time, so even the best of us can make mistakes as while Pluto goes in. So we'll stay with Big Mike then, who's just under 4 tenths up, which at the moment will get him up to P13. As he goes round to see the Interlagos, up round Ferradura. The downhill braking. Like I said, downhill is it's difficult braking. It's easy to lock up. And with the track, it's quite a bumpy track as well, so it makes braking quite tricky. So I love this section. I love that middle section because it's when you're, especially when you're for the one that's got rear view, you won't know. Whoever drives rear view, you're absolutely bent. But as he does, he goes to P13 with a 1:10.4, so he found 6/10 in his lap. Brilliant from him. As well, jump on Looper, he's got a little bit of extra time. He's to almost 300s up. As the Red Bull comes out behind. Down to his final lap. Looper has made a mistake, so he's going to have to go again if he's got any more fuel in his tank. Who have we got behind? Let's see how big Racky's doing as he's coming round junction. Foot to the floor. Can he improve? Can he jump up to P2, even pole? Crosses the line and stays where he is, just slightly up, only 100th up on his time. The little chaos goes round. Is that Big Mike coming round? It is. He's almost 2/10 up. And he ended up half a second down. Strange. This game is strange. Not like a Doctor Strange, it is strange. As suffers invalidated. Is that Cygate coming round? No, it's not. It'll be Adamako on his flying lap. As we'll see, down he's 3/10 up, which will get him and increase him up to P10, just above Cygate. Good point score for the top 10, of course. Points are valuable. Is this Armadee now? No, it's not. Everyone's coming around to do a flyer. Who have I got coming around first then? I've lost. Here we go. That's not a lap. Chaos is invalidated. Big Racky jumps in the pit and that's him done. So the most he's going to get is P3. Pluto's on an out lap. Armadee crosses the line. Can he improve on his time? He cannot. He's 400ths down. So his time can be beaten. He set the benchmark, but it can be beaten. And Dan is slightly up. Can he improve his time slightly and not go places? He saved P10. So Cygate jumping up to P9. And Adam crosses the line and it stays P4. Danny comes over. He's not going to improve. Looper cannot improve on his P2, so I bet he'd be happy with that though. We've got Geezer jumps up to provisional P5 above Chaos. Cygate jumps in the pit. We've got Wayne. Can he bragging rights over his teammate? He can't improve. He stays P8. We've just got Chaos and Pluto. Chaos has invalidated. What can Pluto do? He's down on his time. He's 2/10. So I think this will be a running order, folks. And Armadee takes pole. He didn't have it all his own way though. It was tight. And only 3 drivers managed to get into the top, into the 107s. And I think they'll all be absolutely thrilled with that. Yeah, we chose this track for the special race because as we're waiting for Chaos in the pits, this game's weird how it loads. What's it on with the Mercedes? Yeah, we see a Mercedes, everyone. Your eyes don't deceive you. So we'll go through our standings for the race. Armadee in the Red Bull taking his second consecutive pole 2 in 2 weeks with a 107.7, and Looper joins him on the front row in the RB, the lone RB, but doing Portuguese proud. You've got Big Racky and Adamako on the second row. Big Racky coming back from last week's incidents. Barimo getting a fantastic P5 for his first run out of Geezer. Chaos P7, Wayne P8. Cygate P9 and Dan Mice round off the top 10. We've got Umstopper in the Williams P11 with Danny, P12, Big Mike P13, and Wild Pluto rounding off the grid. So, yeah, they'll let the drivers sort out their strategy, sort out their fuel. Yeah, we chose this track to do the special race and have this one with the different tyre compounds because it's a short track and it has a real long pit lane. It's 22 seconds in the pit plus the pit exit, so it has a lot of there's plenty scope for gaining and losing time, as well as easy run-off areas to get those penalties. So we're in store for an absolute treat, I'm sure, here. And I think that this sort of format will be taken received quite well. I hope. Well, I hope so. I'll get some feedback from the drivers afterwards. But we will jump on the formation lap. And I need to get my little pen out because I need to go through who's got what tyres to start with and see the different strategies. So most people on softs, getting them out of the way, looking a bit racy at the start. Luke and Big Racky both on softs. Let's find them. I need to take these off. That's the thing now. I've got to make. Oh, Big Racky's. Oh, he's on mediums. Big Racky's first on mediums. Adam, Barimo, and Keezer on softs. Geezer. We'll be looking for that battling with Big Racky. Chaos side getting down. Big Mike and Pluto have collided by the looks of it. You don't want to be doing that. While Pluto or Whitey, what he's known in the greens and softs. I think there's everyone's supper and softs. Danny on softs. I've got everybody. Everybody's good to go on my little checklist. So you can see everyone's just forming up now. Can we get a better angle than this? Last week's starting angle was absolutely pathetic. We want a close up as the drivers aren't rushing. Keezer misses his Great Scott. He misses his grid spot and ends up with a. He's going to have a bit of a halted start. Now, come on. I want a better angle. Here we go. 4, 5 lights out. And away we go. And Lupa Imedy gets a good start. Lupa has the inside with Big Racky, with Adamaco on the inside, but Big Racky does get position. Adamaco forces his way through, but there's plenty of time to go for Big Racky. But Adam wanted to get that. Wayne's a big mover up to P5. Everyone else has lost or gained a couple of places as Wayne is under threat from the McLaren. A bit carbon fibre flying off, but Barimo gets his place back. McLaren, a little bit jolty, might be a connection, but he is in Mexico. There we go, so it looks like everyone's just settled now. As Big Mike and Whitey battling as Whitey does go off. He's on the high tyre, so he's looking to make a big stint at the start. Just running his own race for now. DRS will be activated after the first lap. Imedy broken that 1 second already. So we've got a yellow flag, and that is Whitey's gone off. And there's an early safety car. Would anyone look to pit straight away? And that is Whitey's gone off, unfortunately. And we didn't see the Mercedes for that long. Went off at junction, and it's a real shame. And Keys, Cygate, Chaos, Danny and Big Mike all all jumping in the pits and taking advantage of the safety car. Oh, I get to tick off some tyres now. Keys at Cygate, Chaos and Danny. All on hards, and Big Mike has jumped onto those mediums. So he's only got one stop left. Will we see anyone else jump in the pit? It is early days, and I think we'll likely find, with how early that was, that a load of cars will be jumped for position if they do pit. So this will be interesting. What will they do? Having to stay within the delta here. Big Mike passes that safety car. As Amity, Luca, Adam jumps in. Big Raki goes through. And Adamaku gets a speeding pit lane penalty. A 10-second penalty. Italian hand gesture. And Dan stays out as well. Amity goes on to mediums. Is that you, Whitey, John Bloggs? I'm sorry to hear. So Amity Almeida, Lupa's gone on hards. Lupa, Adam. Marino, Wayne. On to mediums. Supper's gone on to mediums. I think that is everyone that's gone out there now, apart from Big Raki and Dan. So IMD did get out before the rest of the train came, so if I was those two, probably would have pitted, but they've gone for track position. Well, I hope you join us for the stream. It's a shame that you've gone out. Yeah, I have the same issue with the dog. He'll jump on me trying to play and ends up pressing buttons. It's a terror. But you wouldn't trade him in for anything. And Adamaka getting another penalty. What's going on here for ignoring the yellow flag? Adamaka's having a right mare here. Another penalty. I think he's pitting out to get rid of his penalty while the safety car's there. And we'll see what tyre he goes on to. I'd probably jump on the mediums if I was him. And then he's got free. He's gone back onto softs. So, yeah, he's still got the mediums to go. But he'd be kicking himself again with this another 10-second time penalty. But we know he's quick. We know he's got some pace, so where he is now is not where he's going to be staying. It'll be quick catch up to the safety car queue. I'm sure they'll be telling me all about it afterwards, about his issues. So safety car, we're on lap 4. Big Raki will be leading the safety car restart. I think Adam will catch up. Dan Morris up to P2. Both of these drivers still yet to pit. Both have to pit twice still, so I wouldn't say that I think they've missed a trick by not pitting. I really do. And if it's not in this lap, I would say jump in the pits, lads, because you're going to be down a lot of time otherwise, because everyone else only has to pit once. Amity, P3. He's a P4. Good position for him. Are they going to pit these two? No. I would have pit if I were you, lads, with the safety car. Unless you're expecting another one. Keys P4. Up. Gained plenty of places. Lupa down in P5 now. Karimo down place in P6, but Wayne P7. Both Williams drivers, Saigain and Supper. Supper. P8 and P9 in the Williams. Chaos in P10. Danny P11, Big Mike P12, and Adamako P13. So he's gone again, getting rid of this other penalty and changing his tyres again, and he's gone back onto the hard. So he's just got rid of these tyres, got rid of these time penalties. He knows that there's nothing he can do about it now. So he'll be able to catch up with the safety car again. So he's very wise there to get rid of his penalties. If it goes round again, Big Racky and Dan, you need to pit, lads. I'm telling you, you're going to be out, completely out of sync with everyone else. But I think you've missed the boat now. Well, it'll let us know in a minute. As what happens to Cygate? Has he gone off? Oh, Cygate's lost a bit of traction and has gone off. No, driver's let him past. And Cygate's left the session, so I'll just re-invite him. 1 second. Safety car is in this lap, so Big Racky will lead this away. He's going to be waiting for the safety car to go in. Of course, there's no overtaking until you cross the timing line, and I think Big Racky will be holding this queue up as late as possible. I said that, but he's gone. He's caught Dan Morris off guard, and he's gone away, and it's caught the rest of the field off guard. Will we see anyone make a lunge? McLaren on the inside of the centre S, but Looper holds his position. Saw him coming. Aggressive driving there from Barimo, but clean driving from both drivers. As Supper overtakes Chaos, his friend. As Big Racky gets time limits for track limit, sorry. As we've lost Cygate, he's still yet to rejoin. I'll send him another one. Lost the connection. We had this the other day as well. It just happens. I don't know why they can't get these servers right. As Big Mike has been overtaken by Adamako, who's trying to make strides now. Up to P10 from the back. As Big Racky's still got a hold of P1. 8/10 now ahead of Amadi, who's managed to overtake Dan. Which has dropped Dan now, so Amadi again making strides. Looper now overtaking Cygate. As what's happened to Looper? I think he's had a bit of an incident. Potentially with Barima. As Barima has gone into the pits and has got some damage. So I think him and Looper have had some contact by the looks of it. He's dropped to the back of the grid, but there's still plenty of time to go. As he jumps onto the mediums now. So he is the first one to use all 3 sets. And there's free reign if he pits again. As Big Racky's now a second ahead of Amadi, so shows some fantastic pace here. Amadi knows he doesn't have to force it and knows that Big Racky has stayed out. Dan P2 again has to pit, so at the moment it's looking great for Giza and Wayne, the Ferraris. P4, P5, knowing that the 2 drivers ahead have to pit twice. Looking good. Supper up to P6. 1.4 seconds behind the Ferraris with his teammate in tow. His friend in tow in the Haas. Danny the second kick in P8 in this train now with Adamako. As Amadi now makes the overtake on Big Racky going down to turn 1, and Amadi taking fastest lap as well. I think Big Racky will stick with him now, try stay in this train as Adamako makes the overtake. Ooh! I think Danny tried to take so much of the inside and took too much of the curb. And Looper doing the exact same move over on Big Mike. Big Mike is still there. And Cygate is back with us. Oh, Italian hand gesture for Baremo. Speeding in the pit lane, you don't want to do that. What have you done that for? Has he got damage again? He's having a wing change. Oh, Italian hand gesture for speeding in the pit lane. It's one of my pet peeves because it's so easily avoided. But he's got some time to find now. But like I said earlier, finish the race, you get points for your team. The point scoring is a little bit more congested than it was last season, so it keeps everybody in with a fight as late as possible in the season. for both drivers and constructors at the moment. Amadi in the lead. Big Racky still in DRS. Amadi extending his fastest lap time as Giza now overtaking Dan Morris on the inside of centre S. Turn 1. Keeps the position. Wade's trying to follow him through, but is down behind Dan Morris. Both of them will get to second DRS. Can they fight back and get Giza? We've got a yellow flag. I think that is Danny. He's gone on turn 1 again. He doesn't like that corner. Does not like that corner. As he's damaged his wing. He's lost his end plate. So he's not holding other drivers up. He goes wide there and just can't turn in. Potentially a big easy overtake here for Big Mike. Oh, getting Daniel just can't brake. He's having a bit of a struggle here. But he's got to pit and change his wing. Amadi just over a second now ahead of Big Racky. Does he have DRS? I don't think he will this time. But looking good in P2 currently. Oh, like I said, he's still got a pit though. So Giza. And Wayne is just behind though, still in formation. Unable to make the overtake. But Wayne and Dan are going to be looking to try and make that overtake on Giza. As Supper, Chaos and Adam Mako have all joined the queue as Giza and Dan are battling. And Dan does make the overtake down to turn 4 and 5. Giza are going to look to fight back going into Ferradura, but just not quite close enough. And it's a difficult place to overtake in Sector 2. As Adam has overtaken Chaos and will look to make another move now on Supper. And they have broken now from Looper, who's looking to race his own race and get back into some decent positions again. Adamako right up to the gearbox now of Supper, and we'll try and make this overtake. It's looking like it'll be quite simple for him, even though the DRS will be open. He's close enough. Giza is close enough to go on the outside of turn 1 for Dan Morris. Makes that overtake clean. Dan will try and fight back on the inside, leaving each other plenty of room. Great driving from those lads. As Dan gets tyre track limits, and that won't help his fight for podium. He retakes the position, and Wayne overtakes his teammate, goes up to P4. As I was just going to catch Adamako, who managed to make the overtake on Supper. So some great battling here from P3 down. We've got a nice train like we did in Baku last week, where drivers are jostling for position, to and fro in every single lap. And this is all looking good for Big Racky. He's just slightly extending his lead from the cars behind. Amadi's making strides ahead now. But the cars behind now as Wayne is close up on the gearbox of Dan Morris. And this looks like, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like a Ferrari track this week. He's right under his gearbox, going to the outside of turn 1. And makes it look like an easy overtake here. Dan really can't fight back. Slight room there, but Dan has to give way. A little bit of a love tap on the rear wheel, but knows he can fight back again. Going down to turn 4. Casita del Lago. And Adam Mako overtaking both Ferraris down one straight. And Giza has lost a couple of positions from being out of off the track line, off the driving line. And Supper and Chaos both overtaken. And Giza has lost several positions in the sake of a few corners. But this train, like I said, you're jostling for position. You'll be right back in it. Adamako now up to P4. And right on the gearbox of Dan Morris. So as I said earlier, this lad's got some pace. A little bit of a sniff there from Wayne. But Dan's now going to be a sitting duck from the cars behind. They're now 5 seconds behind Big Racky. Dan and Big Racky still yet to pit twice. as Wayne looks on the inside of Adamako and slots him right behind as Adamako's looking inside of Dan. A little bit of a slide as trying to go 3 wide through turn 1. And it's a little bit quite difficult to do there, but all drivers managed to keep going and not lose anything. Oh, a bit of collision. Oh! Oh! And who was that? I think it was Supper. So Supper and Chaos out of the race, and that's a VSC. You can't re-enter the track like that. You've taken both drivers out. I think that was Supper re-entering unsafely. As that is a VSC, and this will be perfect time for Big Racky and Dan to pit if it stays out. Oh no, Danny! No! Italian hand gesture! No! As Danny and Barimo decide to pit. Oh, no, no, no. Don't do that. As Danny now jumps on to his mediums. And are we going to see a pit stop here? Armadi jumps in and Big Racky jumps in. Don't do that. Don't do that. Dan Morris does jump in. Adamako jumps in. Kiza carries on. Armadi goes on to those hards now. Big Racky goes on to hards. So he's going to be racing the end of going on softs. Adamako onto some mediums. And that's his... Dan Morris goes on to his hards. So he'll be racing at the end as well. As Big Mike. No! Italian hand gesture for Big Mike! No! Wayne's decided to jump in and go on his hards. So he's used all his allocation as well. Big Mike's using his allocation. Oh, all these silly penalties. Sygate stayed out, so Supper, has he gone? No, he's crashed out, so he's gone. We've lost Whitey, and we've lost Chaos, unfortunately. Do I see Looper on mediums? I see Looper on mediums. So it's just going to be the racy ones to go on softs at the end of Dan Morris. And it's a full safety car. It's not a VSC, it's a full safety car. So this could be a bit of a masterstroke from Kiza Giza. Although he's got track position and still to pit. We've got 22 laps still left to go. So I think most other drivers will still have to pit again. And like I said, Dan Morris, Big Racky and Sygate all yet to pit for their final mandatory pit stop. And they will be on softs. So it's going to get racy. So we are on lap 15. As we're going down the Rita Aposta, Kiza Giza, P1, Armadi in P2, Big Racky P3, Dan Morris P4, Adamako P5, Wayne in P6, Looper P7 will be happy with the safety car to get himself back in contention. Sygate P8 going strong, and then we've got the cars just catching up now. Big Racky, Danny and Barino. I think Barino is a lap down. I think he's in the train, so he is a lap down. It's a shame that this game doesn't let the cars go. Everyone would love to see it. Let the lapped cars through, but no, they can't do it, can they? Codemasters, are you listening? EA, you listening? Fix the game, improve it. Oh, Danny. As the safety car's in, And Kizagiza has gone already. He's gone already. I didn't see it get called. Kizagiza did, and he's left Amadi absolutely napping because he couldn't. Well, no, actually he hasn't, because he couldn't overtake because of the lap car. And Amadi has got a 10-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. What didn't he do? Oh, and this puts the race-winning contention as Big Raki Adamako jumps ahead of P4 ahead of Dan Morris. Oh, what a penalty. What a penalty to get, and I'm sure it's a game issue. And if he reports, I'm sure we might be able to do something about it. If he sends a clip. If it is a game issue. As Danny jumps in the pit for another pit stop. I think he's had another damaged wing. He has, yeah. As Amadi will be looking to catch up with Kizagiza, who's absolutely licking his lips to having that lapped car in front. But it does mean that Amadi will get DRS off this lap car. Adam Mako DRS is enabled now, so we wouldn't have had it before. As Baremo. Oh no, Kizagiza's got a penalty for track limits as well. So that's going to throw his contention for podium in the air. I can't call it because all these penalties that are flying. Let's have a quick look. We've got a few threes. Big Mike and Amadi with the 10 seconds. As Amadi is caught up right back on Kizagiza's old hards. As he's right inside of Baremo. Amadi just joining this train of these front four drivers. They've dropped Looper. Dan Morris and Wayne battling hard again. Both on fresher tyres now. Maybe we're going to get to overtake. I think Amadi is closer. Kizagiza will be a sitting duck here. As Amadi will be looking to do this overtake down turn 1 and the centre S. As he makes that easy overtake. And Big Raki going on the inside. Makes a diving, a real aggressive overtake on Kizagiza. And these two are absolute rivals on the grid. As Adam's going to look at trying on the inside of turn 4 on Kizagiza. Kizagiza sees him coming and doesn't fight too hard. And Gadamako gets himself up to P3. And at the moment, as Big Raki is looking to overtake Amadi, and looking racy, looking fast. As just going on the outside of Pinarino, and gives up the position to Amadi. Amadi's right on the tail, with Kizagiza right up behind as well on the older tyres. So I'd like to say Adam Mako's looking strong now with not having a penalty. Adam Mako showing his pace on the inside. Both cars have DRS. Adam Mako will have the inside of turn 1. Is ahead at the corner. Big Raki won't want to give up too easily. Trying to do a switchback onto turn 2. But Adam Mako positions his car well and retains the place, but Big Raki will fight back going down turn 4, DRS open. But both cars have DRS, so it's hard to pull it back, and it's a great battle there. As Danny gets 10-second penalty for corner cutting. If you don't return to the track straight away, or near where you went off and try and cut corner, the game will have you. The game will have you. So Amadi, who's that gone off? And it's Danny. Where have we lost Danny? We've lost him on potentially turn 10, but it's another safety car. Or it might have been Pinarino. I think it might have been Pinarino who's gone off there. So make sure. No, Lupa's got his drive through. Oh no, these penalties are absolutely racking up here. Will we see anyone pit under the safety car? Amadi carries on. Adam Mako carries on. Raki carries on. Kizagiza Knows that he has one more pit stop to go. I think this was a soft though, wasn't it? I remember. No, it's a mediums. He's got mediums left. So he can go to the end of the race on medium. So he's looking good. No, Sigate's Italian hand gesture, no! I think everyone else has done their allocated that's gone in, apart from Sigate, who needs to do softs, and he's doing his softs now. So that does mean that we're left with Dan Morris and Big Racky just using softs now. That makes it easy for me. So, oh, here we go. Safety car, lap 20. That's a big shame as Big Mike has retired in the pits. He's had enough. Could have kept going for some points for Alpine, but it's nice for him to join us today. Thank you very much. Always nice to get as many drivers racing as possible. And this will promote Barimo up to P10. P9, sorry. Is he? He's pitting. He is over a second behind. Will he go back? I think. No, he's still over a lap behind, so can't keep going. So here's our formation as we're waiting for the last couple of cars to catch up. 16 laps left to go. Armadi currently in P1 on the hards. Adamaka will be looking racy on P2 on the mediums. Maybe, I don't know if unless Armadi thinks he can get the penalty removed by the stewards. I maybe would have done like Adamaka did and pitted. Maybe onto some mediums. Got rid of the penalty and then raced himself back. There's only 9 drivers left on the grid, so it would have been a good sprint race for him. But we'll see. Adamaka P2, Big Racky going well in P3. Dan Morris same in P4. Ferraris in 5 and 6. Wayne, you'd say, he'd be looking quite tasty for a podium with, unless he gets himself a penalty as well. Got Looper in P7 on some old hards. Sigate on those new softs. I don't think that'll last though. And then Barimo at the back. He'll need to join the back. At least he'll be joining the back of the safety car queue this time. Will it be going in with him being a lap down already? It normally tells us about now. As we come to the end of sector 2. Oh, it's all to play for. Hard to call. It's been to-ing and fro-ing. I would like to think we're coming to the end of our the third act, as you like to say, with the safety cars kind of there's quite a bit of action here and force people into safety cars. Oh, there's a bit of lock up there from Armadi. Force people as Luke has gone into pits, he's changing his tyres, getting off these old hards, so he's probably going to mediums. We'll get him to the end. And he does. Like I said, he knows that there's only 9 drivers here, 8 if you don't count Barimo. So he can potentially get himself up a few places. And Barimo actually has got himself back into grid order. Great persistence from him. So Luke is actually starting in P9 on the safety car restart. So definitely going to be in this lap now. Don't get any stupid penalties, guys, this time. Come on. Just coming around, be good to Pato. End of sector 2. Let's see that notification, guys. Safety car in this lap. Thank you very much. And Amadi will be looking to hold up this pack as much as possible now. I know Adamako is racy. He's quick. He's on the softer compound. How long will he hold this pack up for? You of course can't concertina. You've got to go at a consistent pace. He's holding up that pack. Everyone is looking racy, and has he gone? He's gone. He's gone a little bit earlier. And Adamako is closing in. He's not close enough. Will Dan Morris look at taking Big Raki? He doesn't. Ooh, Ferrari's almost colliding. But everyone's made it through turns 1 and 2 without any major disasters. And Big Raki right up on the gearbox of Adamako. I tell you what, Big Raki Giza lost a couple of places. Veremo has made a couple as well. As Wayne overtakes Dan, and Wayne gets himself the penalty that I said he shouldn't get. So this podium is up for grabs now. I can't tell you who's going to be on this podium. The only one I'd probably say is, unless he gets himself a penalty, and I don't want to jinx him either, is Adamako. Amadi, I'm not sure about his penalty decision. And Veremo, potentially, if he stays with this pack. Only one without a penalty at the moment, so looking good. So Amadi, Adamako and Raki in tow as Veremo fighting his teammate. Don't collide as Dan Morris keeps position. Veremo's looking racy. But he's on older hard, so he's got to be careful. You don't want to knock your teammate off. As Giza having a look onto turn 4, but not close enough to make the move quite yet. As Big Rack and Adam are right on the tail of Amadi. They joke in the chat, and Amadi is a fast racer, but saying that he'll drive off into the distance, I think it only applies to certain tracks, and this one isn't one of them. Got Wayne currently in P4, who's broken a slight gap with Dan Morris, who's got his teammate still right up at his gearbox. Giza, who's going to be a bit racier on his fresher mediums. We want to try and look at overtaking as soon as possible. And Scott Sargate in tow as well, and I think Luke has gone off. He's lost a bit of traction somewhere. As Adamako makes overtake into turn 1, which makes Amadi offline, and will give an opportunity to Big Raki. Amadi want to look at taking that place back as well. As Big Raki has a look in inside turn 4, but not quite close enough. So Adam has consolidated that position. As Dan Morris is Veremo and Wayne battling as Veremo. Ooh, Wayne managed to keep that on the track. As Veremo goes on the outside of turn 6. Brave move with Dan. Great driving and great position awareness from all drivers here. Battling hard but fair. I think all this carbon fibre is from all the low downforce from the drivers, and they're scraping their cars on the curbs. As Giza has overtaken his team, I think Wayne's probably let him through on the softer tyres, on the softer compound tyres. What are we going to see down here? Are we going to see another overtake? Keep it clean, lads. Make your move wise. I don't want to see any tears. As Dan and Veremo. Dan just knocks Veremo off wide. Veremo rejoins the track in a little bit of a love tap. As Giza's right up on the gearbox of Dan Morris, going on the inside of turn 4. Makes that overtake. Veremo's managed to stay within DRS of his teammate. And Sygate has overtaken Wayne. I think Wayne's had a little bit of an issue. Has he got any damage at all? No, he looks okay. I think he's just either a little bit of contact or lost the traction. And just having a sniff of Sygate there. Come on, Wayne. A little bit of respect for Sygate. Make your overtake clean. Sygate is on softs, remember, as well, so he's going to have a better traction off the corners. Now's probably a moment. As Amadi retakes P1, overtaking Adam. Adam's pushing him around the corner like it's a shopping trolley. And he's that obnoxious Karen in aisle 6. As Adam jumps back up to P1, as Wayne gets another penalty. I jinxed him. And they've dropped Big Racky, who's in the pits, who's jumping onto his softs finally. So he's going to be very, very racy as if this race finishes. As Looper joins him just behind, trying to get a bit of slipstream off him. So I think it's just Dan Morris left now to change the softs. So what you're looking here is it's looking good for Adam, Amadi, potential, well, it depends on his penalty, like I said, and Baremo on his league debut. Amadi closing up, DRS open. Can he retake P1? Going down to turn 1. Adam defends well. Defends cleanly. Amadi looks in the inside. See each other coming again, and this is great driving from these pair. Adam trying to look at a switchback again like he did in the last lap, but follows Amadi through, and we'll look at doing the overtake again with the DRS open. It's like lap repeat. But Giza train behind him. Of Dan Morris and Baremo and Sygate and Wayne. Sygate looking strong up now in P6. I don't know if he'll get to the end on those softs, but you never know. We've had the safety cars, so that'll extend the tyre life. Let's join this battle again. Amadi again right up behind Adamako as we come around junction. I think we're going to be seeing this lap after lap right to the end. Giza looking good for podium if he can drop the cars behind. Dan, of course, as like I said, needs to pit for those as Adam is overtaken again as he's pushing him round. As Dan and Keys are battling. Dan takes P3 down to turn 1, and there's the penalty for Baremo, and that knocks the easy podium off as Adam overtakes on the outside of turn 4. Great overtake there, and Big Racky now taking the fastest lap, and that's valuable points for the Kick Sauber team as Dan and Baremo battling with Kiza as Dan's in P3. Baremo on the inside turn 6, brakes later. Kiza giving him plenty of room but looking to fight back, and turn 8 round the Pinarino, and that's a great drive from those again. It's looking hard, but it's also looking fair and quite aggressive. But I think the drivers will all agree they like to battle and they like to race. Sygate follows still in this train in P6, and all it takes is one of the drivers ahead to get another penalty, and he'll shoot up this grid. Dropped Wayne now on the used hards. And Big Racky looking to catch up as much as possible. I think the early safety car decision not to pit on the early safety car has probably thrown him and Dan off the out of sync of everyone else, and that's why the position he is in now. But he'll have a last charge with 6 laps left to go. Amadi, Sygate and Keys are battling. Keys has gone wide on turn 4. Sygate looking racy on these softs. And just following Keys in through now sector 2. They have dropped the McLarens now, and the McLarens, if they've got any sense, might want to work together and try and get closer to the cars in front, as they are DRSing each other lap by lap. Dan, of course, needs to pit for softs. I hope he's listening. I hope he's remembered he needs to pit for softs. And he does dive in now. He heard my call. So he's going to be very racy at the end. As his teammate then up to P3 with Giza right on his gearbox. Dan has gone down to P9 now, but he'll come out looking racy. He's shown that he's got some pace on this track. So this podium is all down to penalties now. That looked like a silly penalty, a silly warning there from Baremo. Keys just got to stick with him, force him into a penalty. And that podium may be his. 7.5 seconds, and I think Barama D, he's going to want to try and get to that 10-second gap if the penalty does stick. I think he'll be happy to give the win to Adamako if he only loses one place. As Keys has got his wing open, looking to the overtake on Barema on the outside of turn 1. Barema is ahead at the corner. Give each other plenty of room here, but Keys, as Barema touches the curb, and Keys with a fantastic overtake on the outside of turn 1. Barema will have the DRS open, but I don't think he'll be close enough. Yeah, look at him steaming down into turn 4. Where's that pace come from? Left each other plenty of room, and Keys keeping that place on the outside. And we've lost Sygate. Oh no, we've lost Sygate coming out of turn 4, and that's a safety car that's come out. Oh, that's unfortunate. Sygate is battling with Wayne. Oh, he's going so well, Sygate, and that does mean the safety cars come out. And this can only look good for Big Racky and Dan. I think if anyone else does decide to jump in the pits, or will they keep track position, Armady jumps in and we'll get that 10-second penalty. Adamako follows in. They're all going to jump on some softs. What will Giza do? I think Baremo is going to have to jump in. Giza is going for track position with a couple of laps left to go. Wayne jumps in the pits and gets a no. Wayne, Italian hand gesture. No. Why? Oh no. As Dan comes through on his fresh softs. So big. Giza is currently P1. Adamako has come out in P2. Big Racky P3. So Armidy's only lost a couple of places really, and we're looking racy as he's got rid of his penalty now. Dan Morris up to P5 ahead of his teammate as which one's which. Don't jostle for position. I think he's got out just ahead of his teammate. Yep. So Dan P5. Baremo P6. Wayne P7 with a silly last minute penalty. No, and Lupa P8. So I'll tell you who's looking good here. Lupa, if he can stick with this pack, will jump everyone on penalties. As I think safety car should be in this lap. If not, it's going to be a 2-lap sprint. Well, I hope there's going to be potential carnage. It is another lap. So we've got one more lap with the safety car, and then we've got 2 laps left. I don't know if my heart can take these 2 more laps. Giza on those 13 lap old tyres. As Wayne's jumping in the pit to get rid of that 10-second penalty. He knows he can fight for position without that penalty. Very clever from him as well. With the safety car out, he'll catch up to the pack before the restart. He's only lost a position. Potential gains possible. So yeah, very clever from him as well. So with a couple of no-shows and with the driver just DNFs, it's looking good for the McLaren team here. Ferrari as well, potentially, to be able to rack some points and get up the constructors. It just emphasises how key it is for consistency and for trying to keep it clean. As he will join on the back end, this will be the safety car restart. It has to be. It has to be. There we go. So Keyser is going to hold this one up as late as possible. He has to. Everyone else is on fresher softs behind him. Oh, I can't call it. I can't call it. Let's have a quick look at penalties. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and then 6 for Wayne at the back. Keyser's going to hold this up as late as possible. He knows he'll be done down and he's gone. He's gone now. Adam's stuck with him. Amadi is right up alongside Big Raki already. Trying to make an early overtake down turn 1. Leave each other plenty of room. Big Raki on the inside of turn 2 as Amadi tries to squeeze him, but manages to keep on the inside of turn 3. It was great racing. Again, it's hard but fair. And Big Raki's lost a place to down turn 4. Keyser already lost a place to Adamako. Adamako now up to P1. And Keyser will be under threat from Amadi. He'll be looking to do an easy early overtake on turn 6. On the fresher tyres, there's nothing Keyser can do about that. And will be under threat from all the cars behind. Again, track position is always tricky. As Dan Morris looking racy with Big Raki. Big Raki under threat from both McLarens. Baremo has to be careful, and Baremo's forced that round the corner and caused Big Raki to spin and lose his wing. Oh, Baremo. The position wasn't there. I have a feeling there might be a penalty coming your way if Big Raki chucks that one in. So Baremo ahead of Dan Morris. No, Italian hand gesture for Big Raki. He's on the last lap. I hope he doesn't retire. Oh no! You had 1 lap to go. I think we'll give you the position for having 1 lap to go. So we're on the final lap. We're on the final lap here. Adamako in P1 and Amadi right on his rear wing. He's going to want to stick with him. This is for position right to the end. We've got Baremo in P3 with Keyser in P4. But we're coming around the last final few corners. Can Adam has Adam got enough in his ERS? Enough for traction to stay ahead of Amadi. It's going to be a photo finish. DRS is open. The gap is going to be, and it's 2 tenths for Adamako. As Baremo crosses line in P3, Keyser P4. Oh, it's all jostled round. I think Lupa took P3. As Baremo's knocked down to P6. And driver of the day is Dan Morris, given by the game. We of course have our own driver of the day poll. And the game doesn't let us go on here, so I have a look at the classification with Adamako P1, Amadi taking that fastest lap on the final lap. Lupa getting promoted up to P3, started at P2, so I think he'd be absolutely chuffed with that, considering how the race went. Dan P4, Keyser P5, Baremo P6, Wayne P7, and then we'll give and Big Raki gets P8 for being within classification. Unfortunately, we lost Cygate, Big Mike, Danny, Supper, Chaos, and Wild Pluto. Eventful race that one, lads, and I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 steward reports. But that is us here for this week for race 3. That's 25% of the season gone. Can't believe it. Next up, we've got what have we got next week? Oh, my head deceives me. My head deceives me. I can't remember what we've got next week. I'm gonna have to take a look. 1 second, everybody. My mind deceives me. We've got next week Belgium. How can I forget Spa? We've got the fantastic race in Spa. Normal format, short quali, 50% race. My name's Alex. This is Lights Out League Racing. Thank you for joining us. Peace out.